Hi everyone. In our last session, we discussed about the table and the block level elements like div, span, and we created a two column layout and we have shown two columns. Okay, so what are actually block level elements and what are inline elements we have seen yesterday or in our previous session. So today we are going to discuss about HTML form elements. See, once we finish understanding the basics of HTML, then after that we can go much deeper inside subject and we are going to understand how all these together can work in creating better user interfaces. What we are covering so far is very much basics. Okay, so all these are nothing but very basics actually, but I am giving an introduction on the basics. Now the next element is form element. Using form element we can receive input data from users and we can submit to server. So using form element we can actually take input from user, then we can submit data to server. Okay, whatever input elements we put inside the HTML form, so values you enter for those elements, they can be submitted to form. Outside the scope of form, if you create any input elements, that value cannot be sent to server. So under normal submission modes, if you use any JavaScript or jQuery, if you use some other mechanism, probably that data you can send to server. Using Ajax you can do it. Okay, but here under normal cases, using forms we submit data. So they are HTML forms. A form has the two important attributes. So one is the method, other one is action. Method is basically get method or post method. Okay, similarly the action is going to be server side component which is going to accept the input data. That can be a PHP page or that can be an ASPX page or it can be a JSP page. Depending on server side technology, we need to specify that. Whatever server side technology you are using, that particular resource we need to specify. Okay, so method can be post or method can be get. Normally by using get and post methods we submit data. So get basically to retrieve data and post is going to be for submitting data. Using post you can submit unlimited data, but using get method you can actually submit only some limited data can be submitted. And one more problem with the get is whatever data you submit, that can be seen in the URL, in the address bar, in the address bar along with the URL like query string that will be submitted. So we submit that way. Whenever we submit using get method, that is going to be shown in the URL along with the URL like a query string that will be shown. Okay, so you can use two different methods. One is get method, other is post method to submit data to server. Okay, sometimes you may have to submit a file, you may have to upload a file. In such cases, ENC type attribute you need to use. Okay, so multi-part you need to use in such cases. So with the help of that, files can be uploaded. Okay, so we discuss regarding that little later, but right now look into different form elements. So a form normally takes this type of syntax. Let me put here form followed by method. We put like this, method equal to, just write here either get or post. I put here post followed by action is equal to here. You can put some server side page. Suppose I want to use some ASPX. ASPX is actually ASP.NET server side page. web form I am using. So therefore I may write something like default.aspx. Like this I can do it. Okay, then followed by here I need to have a closing tag like this form, and inside this I need to specify the input elements. Whatever input elements are there, I need to use inside that. So inside that I should put the elements. Elements I should be putting inside that. Like say input, I put like this, type equal to text. Okay. So you have different types of input elements. Here I am using input type equal to text. Similarly, other types of input elements also we have. So input type equal to text for entering single line of text. In a single line, when you want to enter text, we use input type equal to text. Similarly, you need to enter sometimes passwords or some sensitive data which you don't want to show when it's getting entered on the form. So therefore, in such cases, we may use it as password type equal to password. So whatever you type will not be seen in such cases. Similarly, input type equal to submit. So we can make a submit button. When you click on the button, form data can be submitted to server using the method and using the action. Action is nothing but here server side, whatever code you want to execute when form data is submitted. So that page name you specify there. So that page you can specify there. So input type equal to, what you do there, therefore type equal to text here for single line of text, and similarly input type equal to password. When you put, it's going to be password field. Similarly, you can use submit. When you want to submit data, you can use input type equal to submit. Okay, and similarly you can go with the option buttons. An option button is a button, whenever you want to select a single option from multiple options available, you have to use type equal to radio. So using type equal to radio, we can select an option from multiple options available. So we can call it as option buttons, or we can call it as radio buttons. We can say it as radio button, or we can say it as option button. So using type equal to here radio, we can go with the option buttons. Similarly, we have check boxes. When you want to select multiple items from the available items, you want to select more than one option which is available there. You may be having number of options, but you want to select more than one option. In such cases, you can use check boxes. So using check boxes, we can do it. Similarly, we have actually a select tag. So using select tag, you can select multiple item. You can have a drop down list. From drop down list, we can select a list item from that. So we have there select. With select, you can choose an option from the multiple options available. Just like a drop down list, it is available for us. Okay, and one more thing, input type equal to file. When you want to upload file, you need to use the input type equal to file. So along with these, the input tags, we can use certain attributes like maximum length. In the case of text, how much text you want to enter there, so that much you can set. Max length you can set. Similarly, sometimes you want to take the input text as read only. You should not enter any data. So simply whatever data is available you want to display, so therefore you use for it read only attribute. So value, suppose you have a button, on the button you want to show some text. Using value attribute, you can specify. Similarly, you can assign a value to text box also with the help of value property. And sometimes you need to disable things. So for that you can set disabled. Okay, you have radio buttons. You want to check the radio buttons. So check means you are going to select. By default, if you want to select any radio button, you can use checked property. So or checked attribute. So like this you can be using various attributes along with the forms. Along with the forms we can use various attributes. Okay, you are going to choose, you are going to use various attributes using actually the input elements. So here with the form we use three attributes. The first attribute is say method, second attribute is going to be action, and third attribute is going to be their encoding type. Mostly we use these. And apart from that, we have input. You can input data. Okay, you can enter data. So for that, we use actually an input tag. So by specifying type equal to, we can select different types of input there. We can go for different type of input. Sometimes you can take text. Okay, sometimes you will be entering numbers into text only we can enter. Similarly, from the available options, we need to select only one. Using select, you can do it. Similarly, you can have radio buttons. With the help of radio buttons also, you can be selecting something like male and female. Suppose you are trying to create a user. So at that time, either you can go with male or you can go with female. Like that you can use. Similarly, you can have you can actually, you want to type some sensitive data that should not be shown to anyone. Therefore, you can use type as password. Okay, so you want to select more than one option from the list. In such cases, you can use checkboxes. So like this, there are different types of input elements. Using them, you can actually send data to server. You can send data to server using actually various input elements. Now let us try to create some page with the form. But here we require some server side coding. Therefore, I want to use here .NET framework for that. So I launch here Visual Studio. Using Visual Studio now I can do it. So therefore what I do, I go to this, then click on the Visual Studio Express for Web. This is a IDE, Integrated Development Environment, which is actually a free IDE, because this is only Express edition. Therefore I am launching here Express 2012 for Web, and using it I want to create now say some HTML pages. Using them I submit data to server. In the server I require actually server side coding. So for that I use here ASPX pages. Okay, so this is an IDE. Using IDE quickly we can develop applications. So far we were doing with Notepad, but now using IDE we can do it. So I want to create here first of all an empty project or empty website I would like to make. I am going to make a empty website here in this. So I want to use here some empty website. Okay, now it is ready. I can go for a new website. IDE, it is taking some time to load. Now here click on the new website. I want to create now an empty website. Just creating here empty website. It does not contain any predefined pages for us. So I just want to create ASP.NET empty website. I name it as here simple site for form submission. Okay, put like this, for form submission. This is the name of the website here. I am trying to make one simple website that is going to be empty website. So this one is a empty website. It is something like this. Here we have simple site for form submission. We have web.config file. This is a configuration file which is getting created automatically. So now here we should create HTML page. Okay, so let us create a new HTML page from this. I click on the project. Then after that, like to create a HTML page. Now come to this HTML page. Then here write form data dot HTML, that is, or else I just write it as user registration. I want to make it as user registration dot HTML. You give an extension dot HTML for HTML pages. Either HTML or HTM you must give. Click on OK. Okay, so it is going to create for us now HTML page. It's creating for us HTML page. So by default it is adding some code for us. Instead of we type, automatically it is typed here. So this HTML document is based on the XHTML. When you use XHTML, whatever tags you write must be in the lowercase, and similarly every tag should have a closing tag. The tags cannot be hanging. You must not make them hanging. That means sometimes what you do, you may not be adding the closing tag. So you must add here closing tag also if they are container tags. Now let us try to put a title. Title is what? User registration. Like this I put the title for this. Now here this is going to be body. In the body, now I want to define a form using which we can input data. We need to input data using that. Okay, therefore here I go to the header part. Then in the header part I define a style. I define a style here. So style followed by type. Here it is text oblique CSS. Like this we set the attribute. Then inside this I want to define some style. So this is for what purpose? For user input it is. Here write therefore dot user input. Put like this. Then here it is. Inside this we go with background color. Then we go with the forecolor. Just put here background color. So light blue color I would like to use here in this. I just want to go with a light blue color. Therefore I use here RGB component. Some RGB component, with the help of that I can take, or else I can pick a color. Probably in the bottom it should be given. It's not available here. So you can choose a color somewhere in the bottom. So let me here take some background color. So here I try to set this as hexa in the hexadecimal notation. Now it is available here. Click on this. When you go with the drop down here, I can choose some color in this. From this shade I want to take some background color. This like this I would like to take it, or else something like this I would like to take. So go with that. That's a color, background color I want to use. We are using the background color. Then from where it should start, see, it should be starting from certain left margin. Put it as here margin left. We use margin left. Then here the left margin must be, say, some 20 px. Similarly we use here padding, and for this we want to use this as padding. We want to use around the text I want to have some 30 pixels, both on the top, in the left, in the right, in the bottom. Like this I would like to use it. Okay, so this way I am trying to go with the user input. This is the user input style I am trying to set here. Like this we are trying to set. Now similarly we go with the okay, so user input we are going to take like that, then followed by here we go with this one, and here we have like this user field title. I want to take something like this for it. So for this here I use same attributes, but here I just want to go for background color as here black, color should be white. Like this I would like to show. Color is going to be here white. Like this I want to set this. Background color is black, color is white, margin left 20px, padding is going to be 30px. Like this I am trying to use two different here CSS for the form elements. Now first of all here go with the h3 tag, then here specify style equal to style equal to, we put some style is fine, style is not required at all, but here style I use here style equal to text align, this should be center. In the center I want to put it. Then here also I want to use some padding. Here again I want to use some padding. Here it is padding followed by, even here I would like to use some spaces around that. 20px padding also I want to put for this. Putting like this here padding. This is what exactly h3 element, and here user registration I set this way. This is going to be user registration. Like this I am trying to set this here. This is going to be user registration. I am setting in this way. Now next one I want to go with some div. I use a div. So in the div I can set, I have a div, and this div should be starting from the say some 300 pixels. From 300 pixels it should be starting. So therefore I put here style equal to here margin, use some left, margin left I use, then from the leftmost side from 200 pixels it should be starting. That way I am going to set this div. So inside this I can use now other divs. Inside this I can use other divs, but this div must be part of the form, or else I can use here a form element. In the form we can have now, I am putting a form here. So the form, first of all post equal to, here it is, method equal to post, not post, method equal to post I should put. Here the method is post. I am trying to use method equal to post. Then action equal to time being I keep it empty only. I can put empty for action equal to. I don't specify anything for that. I need to set some value there for action. I am not setting any value for action, just making it empty time being. Because server side I need to create, then I can set the action equal to. So this is going to be form. In this form now I want to enter data. So therefore here first of all I use a span. I am going to use a span here, then here I put like class. So using class I can give a style for this. Class equal to user field title, this is. Close like this, then followed by, first of all username is required. Username we said here. This is going to be username. Then I go with a div tag. I put here div, then here I apply certain style. So once again I use here style equal to, sorry, not style, I should put class. CSS class I need to specify. I put class equal to, here div class equal to, I can give this as user input. Here take user input. For this I am trying to apply that particular style. So this div is going to be shown in the background color for us. Now inside this I use input type equal to text. This is exactly what username, input type equal to text. Okay, and here you need to have a name attribute if you want to submit data to server. When you want to submit data to server, definitely name attribute is required. Without that you cannot submit data to server. So name equal to, write it as here username. This can be the variable name for this particular input element. Then similarly ID we can use it for JavaScript, therefore write it as username. If you need this is the JavaScript, you can do it. Then followed by value equal to, it is empty here. Okay, like this we create. I have created this one here. Now let me render this and show you how this looks. Time being how this is going to look, click on the design here. It's going to be shown something like this for us. It's looking like this. So just try to render this here. So here username is looking something like this. This much height is not required. That much height we don't require because we are providing certain padding there. Due to that it is looking like that. So therefore just stop it. Okay, then come to this here and click on the source. Click on the source here. So instead of using some span, use here div. Even for this also let us use div. Put a div here. So automatically closing tag is getting added for us. Now click on this design. Now it is looking little better. So height is little bit more. You have too much height, that height should not come there. So therefore what we do for that, we can actually, the padding is more and more for these two elements. Padding we have taken more, because of that they look in that way. So let us reduce the padding. How much padding is taken here? 20 px is padding taken for both of them. Here 30 px we have taken. Instead of using 30 px, let us put only 10 px. Even for this also let us try to put only 10 px. Now how this looks, see with this. Come to design. Now this is looking beautiful. Username is coming on the top. Just below that we have a text box. Now into this you can input text. You can input text into this text box. So what we have done here, we added here a form tag. In the form tag we are using a div class equal to user field title username, then div class equal to user input. There we typed the username. Similarly we require now next one more is required. So we are using here block level elements. Now this time this is user date of birth, or you can say username we have here, otherwise you can put this as gender. Select gender. Now here inside this, instead of using text I use a radio. I can use here a radio. Input type equal to radio, name is username. We have taken like this. Okay, we are using this way. This is going to be here name we require, this as gender, and ID is exactly ID also we set it as gender. This will be gender. We don't require any value here. Okay, we don't require any value, but before this let us try to put, after this let us try to put here male. Similarly, one more input also we take, then we keep it as female after that. Put it as here gender, and this one is, this is going to be gender 1 we can put, id can be gender 2, like this we take. Okay, and this is here female we put. Now how this looks, let us see. So side by side they are looking for us now. Username, then select gender, male and female, we have like this. So we have a username, we can select actually gender. By default we need to select their male. So therefore we need to use here a checked attribute. We can use a checked attribute for that. So come to this, then here write checked. We can use an attribute called as checked. This is what exactly checked here. We use like this, then here now automatically getting selected. Okay, so we need to put them under group. For male and for female there should be only one name. Remember that there should be one and only one name for both of them. So that's why we kept it as gender. So when you put name equal to gender, what happens, only one can be selected from that. Otherwise you can select both of them. If you select both of them, there is no point in that. Gender must be either male or it must be female, but it can't be both. So therefore here we are making it male, I checked one. After that we need to, now here this is what we added, the username, and other thing is gender. Okay, so here I want to go with this class user input we have here. Okay, this is not enough, you need to have even the field title. We need to have a field title also. So go with the field title in this. Field title. Okay, hobbies, something like this. We put hobbies. And this time it should be checkbox. Put it as actually checkbox. We can name this as checkbox. So here the name is not required here, name is required of course. So we write it as CHK swim. ID also we can set as CHK swim. And here value we need to put here, value equal to, write it as swimming. Value is going to be swimming there. Value will be swimming in this, so we set that. Similarly here next checkbox we take, and this is here CHK painting. Paint I put here, and this one also CHK paint. And here ID is that we need to set the value equal to painting. Like this we set. Now remove the female here. We remove the female there. Now see how this looks. As soon as you